What's up, boys? Spacious here, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a live video recording here of me doing a Slave Pens boost. So I am actively playing this game as I'm recording this. So what that means is you're going to get some unedited footage here of me doing this boost and how I would typically run it and sell it. And if you ever had questions about any parts of this, then you'll be able to see exactly what my thought process is here, because I'm going to try and explain exactly what I'm doing pretty much this entire time. So I'm just going to do a standard 53 mob pull, and we're just going to do it as fast as we possibly can. And it is a little bit different from when I made the video explaining how to do it. So yeah, so try and bear with me. This is no script or anything. And you're gonna get voice cracks and all, so you know what? Just deal with it. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, and of course join the Discord. Let's go ahead and get started here. As you can see, I'm using a flask and food buff, so I can get my spell power up. I'm using 97.21 avoidance. You need over 95.20 to do this. So if you can't get over 95.20, then don't try it. But all my gear is just typical gear that I would use for boosting, but just a little bit higher avoidance. That's pretty much it. Not too much crazy stuff there. You see, I pulled those box trucks with consecration, and I want to avoid these champions right now because they have a Sunder armor, and it really hurts when you stack it on top of the armor debuff from these guys. So we're just going to pull these guys, and then you can stand there and wait for the patrol to move by, and then you can run through there without pulling him. And what we're actually going to do here is typically we would just run through and kill the defenders and then log out and then pull the rest. But what I like to do now is I like to pull a lot of these crabs. That way I can kill the defenders more quickly with my weapon swing timer being reset from parry. And also, I don't have to deal with their armor debuff during the kill phase. So we're pulling these defenders. I'm just going to go over here, back here in this corner. Everyone will still get experience from here. You probably will get stunned here. Just make sure you judge wisdom and you try to kill these defenders with Seal of Righteousness. You will get stunned. The first stun, I like to pop my Colossus after it's over. And then for the second stun, I'll just either bop it or bubble it. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem as long as you didn't get those champions as well. And once this guy dies, you'll just want to judge wisdom on the other guy. As soon as his spell reflect is over, of course. And then you can stun him as well to avoid getting stunned yourself. Just make sure you don't hammer of justice into his spell reflect, otherwise you're going to kill yourself. Notice how I also didn't pop my wings. That's because if I did get stunned again, I would want to be able to bubble out of it. I used a mana pot because I was pretty low on mana there and I didn't want to sit here forever. You want to just try and get this pull down as quickly as possible so that you can do the rest of the dungeon. From here out, it's really simple. If you have the proper avoidance, you're not going to take any damage here, even with all the armor debuffs. If you had the champions, what would happen is you would get Sunder armor as well, and then your armor would drop below like a ridiculous amount, and you'd basically be taking a ton of damage even with high avoidance. So we're also using Seal of Wisdom here because I was low on mana, and then you just want to get these final packs down, and that should do it. Then you can just loot up. And I am using a interact with mouse over keybind. It's bound to my scroll wheel. And then I can just scroll down and it loots everything. I know a lot of people ask that question all the time. But as you can see, we killed about 20 mobs in 3 minutes. So now we just have to do the rest in a good amount of time. It should be alright. So now it's up to you whether or not you want to go back and pull the champions in the hallway. If you want to get to that sweet number of 53, then you definitely can. Otherwise, you can just start right here. I'm going to go ahead and do it just to show exactly what you would be doing. So you're just going to run back here and grab them really quick. Also make sure that you're using the proper spec for this. I'm using a Sacred Duty talent tree here. I've got 1 point in Reckoning, 3 points in one-handed weapon specialization, and then we're using the typical talents you would grab in the protection tree for farming. And then we come down into Retribution, and we're getting 5 out of 5 Vengeance, and we're also grabbing Repentance so that we have an extra ranged pull. So we grab these champions, and now we're just going to run through and pull everything like we normally would. Grenade this guy in the back here. Mana tap that guy if you have it. And then we can just run through these. It's not a big deal. And then you'll want to run and aggro these guys. This extra patrol. I like to do it with Repentance, because a lot of times you'll aggro these slave guys, and you really want to make sure that you're not getting frost bolted. So pulling them at range is ideal. Then you can run over here and grab these guys. You can judge this guy, or I just mana tap from here. Sorry, humans. And we'll just run around the room. We saw the boss coming down the ramp, so what we're going to do is actually take a very wide approach here and go all the way around the room. So I'm just going to aggro this guy with a Seal of Wisdom there. And then we're going to go all the way around the corners here. And you should be okay. You shouldn't be taking too much damage here. The 53 pull is relatively simple, and the damage really isn't all that crazy. Once you see the boss is going back up, you can just kind of cut for the wall here. Put on a Freedom, because you will be getting crippled and slowed and all that good stuff. Rooted. Pull all the groups here. You can bubble here if you need to, but typically I try to save it. And then we're just going to sit on this spot and wait for the mobs to come around. I drop a couple Holy Lights here. Make sure I've got my Sank up, and make sure I'm ready for the kill phase. So one thing I do want to explain here is there is a way to avoid Rain of Fire entirely. So if you see this marking on the wall here, there's like some weird pattern going on. If you stand directly inside this pattern, I like to say that this is like a rectangle, and it's got 2 sides. So if you stand on the left side of this rectangle here, then you will not get Rain of Fire at all, which is great because that was a ton of the damage we were taking during this pull, and that makes it so we can stay up here for a lot longer. So we're just going to be able to drop Consecrations here, and you see there's no Rain of Fire happening at all, and so the damage is really reduced, so we're able to stay up here for a really long time, basically. I like to spam Dispels on myself when I get crippled, that way my weapon speed isn't reduced. And we're using Seal of Wisdom, and make sure whoever you're targeting has Judgment of Wisdom on them at all times. And we are getting some Sunders from the champions. And we're also going to be getting some of those armor debuffs from the crabs, but we're not getting as many because if you remember, we killed most of the crabs already. So it's not really that big of a problem. I still haven't even popped my Colossus, and we're really not doing too bad. So I'm going to pop it now. And as you can see, it makes it really trivial to stand here with no Rain of Fire and only half of the armor debuffs. So it's actually very, very easy. And I also learned that you don't actually need to kill the Coilfang Ray unless you're in Heroic, because he doesn't do anything. So pretty cool. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. And the difficulty of this boost has really, really come down with these little advancements. And there you go. As we can see, we've killed all the mobs, 53. and we did it in 9 minutes or so. And we can just use the same trick to hop in the water and log out. And of course, you can definitely speed this up if you have better gear, more spell power, things like that. And you can make little adjustments to it however you feel is necessary. But that's pretty much it. So super simple and really not hard at all. I didn't feel like there was any point in which I was in any danger. So there it is. That's a lot better than how it used to be, in my opinion. There was a lot of juggling off and on the ledge, and it took a little bit more time than this. So big improvement overall. And I'd say that you can definitely hit lockouts with this sort of technique here. So there you go. That's how it is. You just log out in the water, relog on back onto your character, and you will appear at the instance portal. So that's it. Overall, it takes about 10 minutes. Pretty easy. All these clams and stuff like that, I just use dejunk and I just delete them with a keybind. My keybind is Shift F5. You can find that here. If you have dejunk, you can start your destroying right here. So that gets rid of the clams, which are super annoying, and then you can save all your room for all these greens that you're going to get. And of course, you're going to be making a ton of money from the boosties. So there it is, guys. That's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Super simple, nothing too crazy, and make sure you drop a like, drop a comment, let me know what you think, or if you need any additional help. Make sure to join the Discord as well. I will leave a link to that in the description. I'll also put a link to my gear in the description if you are more curious about the exact things that I'm using. So check that out as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.